Hi, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in here today. Today we're going to be doing a nice little fun painting. I hope you can follow along with me. Let me have them run the colors across the screen that you'll need to paint along with me while they're doing that. Let me tell you what I got done up here. I have my regular 16 by 20 inch canvas pre-stretched, and I added a thin layer of the liquid white. Rather than that, it's slick, it's wet, it's ready to go. Today I have it on portrait mode. So let's just get started with today's painting. We're going to go into a little bit of phthalo blue. On the 2-inch brush, just tap it. Make sure you have an even distribution of paint. Now, let's come up here and just block in random color. It doesn't really matter. This is not going to be the main part of the painting. There, just tap it in and have at it. You could do a sunset, you could do it at nighttime. Doesn't really matter. What matters is just having a little bit of color. Not, it's just a blank canvas, and what's the point of having that? A little bit of crisscross right there, back and forth. We'll go into a little bit more blue just to darken up those corners. We want the corners darker, that way people could focus more in the center of the painting. We're going to go ahead, a little bit of white. Let's come up here and just lighten that up just a bit. It's not supposed to be too much. And we'll tap our 2-inch brush into the white. And we'll come up here and just tap with the corner of the brush. There we are. And just come with that corner and just go in circles. Just blend off that base, lift up, and go across. If it's too harsh, you can lift up twice and go across really. Okay, let me go into a little bit of black, ivory black, with my 1-inch brush. We're just gonna tap a little bit of black, and it's in the distance. We gotta add a little bit of yellow. Before I forget, let's add in a few indications of some water. Let's come up here and just, boom, lock in something right there. There. Maybe let's have fun. Let's just shoot. Maybe there's gonna be a waterfall. There we are. And let's go into our black color and just tap in a few little indications of some bushes. There. You just want little indications out in the distance. Today it's going to be like a beginner friendly painting because I don't want to go too far in with the more advanced look today. I think today this idea should be good for a beginner. There. And you know what? We'll go into a little bit of black, a little bit of green, and we'll just come up here and just block in a little bit of land. You can always change it. You're never committed, really. Just load up and have at it. There we are. Okay, now let's go ahead. Let's have a little grassy highlight. Load up that same 1-inch brush into cadmium yellow to get that little green color. We're going to come up here and just tap. All you have to do is tap. Load up your brush when you have to. Don't be scared to use up paint. There we are. Okay, let's go on the other side and just lock it in. When one side finishes, go to the other. Load up your brush, and this is why you load up your brush both sides. Now, To me, that's too bright. So we're gonna have to keep tapping it in order to make it more blended in. There. There we are. Just like that, you have yourself a little indication of some land, a sky, and some water down there. Now, we have to go ahead. We have to highlight those bushes. We can't leave those bushes looking like that. Let's go into a little bit of alizarin crimson and cadmium yellow. Tap your brush, same dirty brush. We're gonna come up here and just tap a little bit. Maybe there's some orange little bushes that just live out there. There. I'm kind of using just the corner of the brush, not really going too much into the whole brush, unless it's a big one, really. Maybe this is like fall time. Let's go into more cadmium yellow, less orange. Let's come up here. This big one would be more yellowy. Flip it around if you run out of paint. There we are. We'll grab a little bit of blue, phthalo blue, just to turn it green. Look at that. And we'll come up here. Ooh, nice little bush. Load up your brush once again. There we are. And just mix up colors on your brush. See what works, see what doesn't. If you don't like it, you can always zip it off and repaint it in. And if you do like it, congrats, you just mixed up a random color that no one else can have. No one can ever mix up the same exact color you did, even if they see a video of you. That includes you guys. You guys, as much as you guys try, your color is going to be a bit different than mine's, but that's all right. That's what makes painting looks interesting. A little bit of red in there. Let's have a nice bright one. Ooh. There we are. Just a few little indications here and there. And just like that, you have yourself a couple little bushes. You can grab yourself your palette knife and just scratch out. Since I have my canvas on a black canvas, it's not going to show much, but when people are up close, they'll see the little scratch marks. So that's why I'm still doing it. I recommend you paint your canvas white if you're going to do this, because then you'll see those white scratch marks. Okay, now let me clear out my palette a bit, clean it off. We're going to go into a little bit of Van Dyke brown. Cut a row. And we're just going to come up here and add a little bit of dirt. Just have at it. Wherever you think the dirt is supposed to be, that's where it's supposed to go. Don't overthink it. Overthinking is what ruins people's painting for the most part. A little bit of brown, a little bit of white. Let's come up here and just ever so lightly. There we are. There. Now, a little bit of white. We got to fix up that grassy area. And we'll just, it'll look like a few little extra little highlights. There we are. Shoom. Make your painting look interesting. Don't make it all one line squared and all that. So let's go ahead and let's decide. Maybe, you know what? We'll have fun. We're gonna grab a nice good 1-inch brush. Break that brush up, and we'll go into a little bit of Van Dyke brown. Just a little bit. We're gonna come up here and just wiggle off. You know what? We're gonna cross everything. Probably saying, you put blue paint just for no reason. Well, it's all gonna come together shortly. You just have to trust the process. So all I'm doing is scrubbing on a little bit of brown. There we are. There. I know it looks like a mess, but everything will find its way and tie in together. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's grab a little bit of blue. It has a little bit of that yellow, so it's gonna be a little green, little teal, but that's alright. I don't really mind. Just blocking in a little bit of water out there. There. And let's go back. There we are. You want as thin of a layer as you can. Don't want to overdo it. Okay. Now, let's grab a little bit of brown. And we're going to grab a little bit of white. Just cut a roll of white. Get that little bit. And just let the paint break. So as you can see, that's too dark, so we're going to go a little lighter. Where you think the sun would hit. There we are. You can do this more advanced and paint in the rocks more with the paintbrush rather than the palette knife. All up to you, really. There. That's how delicate of a touch you're supposed to have. Very, very delicate. Not much pressure at all. There. It'll be there. It's not going to be the main part of the painting. Look, maybe right there, just a little bit. Okay. We got to add over here. We can't have it left out. There we are. Let's go ahead. Let's grab our brush. Just load it up in random colors you have mixed up on your palette. And we're going to come up here and just shoom. There we are. A little bit of grass just eating up and falling over. There we are. There. Maybe. There. Shoom. A few little things just out there, really. There we are. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. Let's grab ourselves. We'll grab our flat brush. And we're going to go a little bit of blue and a little bit of white. Blue and white. Let's come up here and just shoom. I know the colors are going to mix. That's alright. There's going to be a more in-between painting. Not too advanced, not too beginner. A little bit of liquid white. Just mix up colors how I said. Test out what works, what doesn't. There we are. Maybe out there just a bit. But you don't want to, if you're doing a more, trying to go for a more advanced look, you don't want to pull down straight with a 1 inch or 2 inch. That's going to look very beginner like. You want to little by little build up that color. There. So I'm basically just blocking in random color. And all we're going to do, let's go ahead, a little bit of ivory black. And let's get crazy. we're gonna have some land out here. There we are. There. Just block it in at random. There we are. And we got to do the same thing for the other side. We can't have it left out. There we are. A little bit of land that lives right out there. Now, let me take a step back and just look at it, see what's missing. Okay, let's go ahead before we get into anything. Let's just highlight the grassy area. We're gonna come up here and just tap a little bit of grass. Oops, I got a loose hair. That happens. Boop, 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 boop. There we are. Load up both sides of your brush and just have at it. Just right here. Kind of have to kind of align it a bit, but rather than that, there's not much to it. And you can reflect some of that down. Make that reflections. Doesn't hurt nobody. Okay, a little bit of Van Dyke brown. And just a bit right here. There we are. A little bit out here. See, if you get too much paint, what you can do is you can make it like rocks coming out. There's no mistakes when painting. Let's highlight that a bit. Just graze it very gently. Now, if you think that's too bright, you can go with some darker color and just go back and forth and blending it until you get that sweet spot. There. Okay. Let me go into a little bit of cadmium yellow just to tap on a little bit of grass. There we are. Out here. You don't want to have a straight line. Nature really doesn't have straight lines. And just like that, you have yourself a nice little piece of land. So now, let's go ahead and let's just have fun with this painting. We're going to go ahead and take my brush through a little bit of ivory black. Let's just take my brush through ivory black. We're going to go ahead and add in a nice little evergreen tree that lives out. Maybe this one's a bit crooked. A little animal came by when it was growing and sat on it. You've heard this story thousands of times. Or maybe they just didn't plant the tree right. Mother Nature forgot to straighten it out. And it ended up crooked, but that's alright. That's alright. It gives that tree more character. Just going back and forth with your fan brush. Don't worry, if it looks a bit messy, everything gets fixed in the highlights. That's when you should worry if it still looks messy after the highlights. There we are. Just tap it in. Okay, a little bit of cadmium yellow with that same dirty brush. Load it up. Come up here and, like if you're following that pattern, if you messed up a bit, no one has to know. You just fix it up with the highlight and keep it going. Don't tell anybody, here's where I messed up. Just keep the brush moving and you'll be fine. There we are. Load up your brush. There. And just let it fade out really. Okay. Now, let me go ahead, let me fix up that base. That base is a little messed up. There we are. And let's go back to the waterfall. We're gonna take a little bit more phthalo blue and we're gonna grab some more liquid white. That way the paint could stick on easier. Load up your brush, nice and good. Let's come up here and shoom. You can grab your brush different if it helps. Water just goes in random patterns, so just create random patterns. Don't limit yourself. Shoom. There we are. Few little. There. Okay, we're gonna go into a little bit of liquid white. It's just thinned out white. And just boop boop. There we are. There. There we are. And all we're gonna do is just tap in a little misty area, just a little bit. And just blend it out there. And we gotta have some water lines. We have to. We're gonna grab a little bit of white, cut across, and just carve out a few. Just like so. Okay. And then we'll grab our brush, a little bit of black, a little bit of brown, maybe out here just lives a rock. There we are. And we're gonna go into a little bit of white. We gotta highlight that rock. And just a little bit of highlights in there. Let's go ahead, same brown and black. Load up your brush. Maybe out here. Boop. It lives there now. And you could do this with the flat brush, 1-inch fan brush, whatever your heart desires really. I'm not here to tell you exactly what to do, just showing you and giving you ideas. Let's go ahead. Let's do another one. What the heck? This one's shorter, but let's have fun. I've been saying that the whole time, but really, you can never get tired of this if you do it over and over and over. Let's add some leaves. Little leafy areas. where some leaves would show up, a little bit of highlights. There we are. Okay, we can add a few little bushes down here, or grass, however people want to interpret it. We'll go into a little bit of black and just tap out a few little indications. And a few little right there. A little bit of crimson and right there. Ooh, look at that. Few little, just add in a few little things here and there. We're gonna scratch out a few little things. And last but not least, we're gonna try something new. Grab with the corner of your palette knife and just a few little birdies. Kind of hard, but manageable if you load it up properly. Just kind of cut the paint on the side of your blade. Well, I really hope you enjoy this painting. Try this painting out. If you do, send me a photo. I would love to see what you create. I'd like to wish each and every one of you the best of luck, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, my friends. Goodbye.